Come in. Have a seat.
It would seem that I now have waking dreams. We found Arden in Kayam. I watched Arden kill Ignis. I watched Ignis die, but when I opened my eyes, he was still standing beside me. I was able to pull him out of the way before Arden even struck.
I thought you only dreamed while you were asleep.
So did I. So did Arden. He was as surprised as I was, and he said, maybe I am asleep.
Look, I don't know how your dreams work. I could tell you you're awake, but you've got no reason to believe me. I hate that you're suffering. But if you can see every blow before it happens, then you'll never be in the wrong place. That's enough for me.
You think I can learn to control this?
I know you can learn to control this. You've learned everything else. You've learned how to run a kingdom while it's falling apart. You've become commander of Lucis's army. You work with Ignis like it shouldn't be possible with a blind man. You phase better than any Kylan. You see the future in your dreams. Why not while you're awake? If this keeps you safe, will you try?
Yes, I will try.
Good.
Cool. I'm not going to get myself killed. At least, not yet.
Don't you dare.
Not for a long time.
Oh, you softy.
He looked at her with that tight, unreadable expression. Then he stunned her for the umpteenth time that morning by pulling her into a hug. Raina very nearly fell out of her chair. She put her feet down hard on the floor to keep her balance and remained frozen, tense against his shoulder for a moment.
I miss him too. Your father.
She hadn't even been fighting tears before, but suddenly they were streaming down her cheeks. She buried her face in his shoulder, melting as he held her in place. All that time she had believed he hadn't the slightest idea what was going on inside her head. All that time, and she never would have thought that it was the same thing going on inside his head. When Raina left Kor's room some time later, it was with a certain reluctance. Not necessarily because she wanted to spend time with him now that, after a year and a half of butting heads at every possible moment, they seemed to have found some sort of understanding, but because she was worried that if she walked away, all of this would dissolve, or it would turn out to have only been a dream. Neither fear came true. They met with the others to discuss the events in Kayam, and Kor's questions sounded more like clarification and less like accusation. It must have been her imagination that he looked different, but regardless, when the meeting adjourned, she felt less like a child and more like a queen.
Can we talk, Your Highness? Ignis, Iris, you too. Lucis's government is a mess. You need to do something if we're going to survive 9 more years.
What do you suggest?
King Regis governed with a council. Bring it back. The monarch has the authority to appoint a new one.
I am not the monarch.
I know, but you are regent. Princess Regent, then.
Very well. Do you have recommendations?
Start here. You've got 2 trustworthy advisors already.
I don't know anything about ruling a kingdom.
Neither does Noctis. All right. Ignis, my royal advisor, and Iris, my shield, will be the first 2 members of Lucis's new ruling council. I would have you as well, Kor.
Government isn't me. I'm more suited to the rules.
Nevertheless, I would have you on my council.
Poor.
Lucius is changing.
Not gonna get out of
Has
this
changed.
one.
We are more in need of commanders than bureaucrats in this day and age.
If that is what you want, I will do it.
I do. I need someone at my side who isn't afraid to tell me when I fucked up. I gather that was what first drew father to you.
I was young and foolish.
At least one of those things is still true.
This is so adorable.
Will you stay at my side?
Until I draw my last breath.
And that was the last of the tension between us dissolved. Everything changed after that. My daily trainings were still challenging, but no longer tense. We practiced with my waking dreams, and though the training unnerved me, I knew he would always be at my side if something went wrong. In the evenings after our practice was through, or after Iris dragged us from the training room, the four of us shared dinner.
Tomorrow, we move faster.
Right.
Yep. Sure looks like you two weren't working hard enough. Better crank up the heat.
Your Highness, Marshal. Straight out of training, if my nose doesn't deceive me.
Ignis!
Ignis, shame on you. A princess doesn't sweat.
Her Highness may not, but I fear the Marshal has no such privileges.
I hear a broken nose will fix that.
Having already been deprived of one sense, I would thank you not to try removing any of the others.
But I'm beginning to regret the decision to convert the dining room into a training hall.
Because then we could put Cor on the other side of the room and not have to smell him?
Because then I could sit on the other side of the room and not have to listen.
In all seriousness, with the growing population inside the Ville and Le Solem in general, it would behoove us to have a larger dining area. I believe there are one or two adjacent ground-level rooms here, and we might knock through a wall or two and have them combined.
Put it on the to-do list. We have people with the construction expertise.
Of course, though it may have to wait until the new housing block is finished construction.
Housing, of course, takes precedence. We can...
Hey! What did we say? No working at the dinner table.
Apologies.
The soup has been getting thinner.
Indeed. I fear the glaives have been scraping the bottom of the barrel on salvage missions. We're a year and a half in, and all canning facilities have been shut down.
Can't we still hunt?
To a degree, but it would seem that the beasts outside are also becoming corrupted, and I should not like to find out what that tastes like.
Then we need to find a way to grow food. Like a greenhouse, but with lights.
The question is where to put it. Safe land is becoming scarce.
Well, there's all that space up by the power plant. They're not actually using it, and... Damn it, now you've got me doing it. A bad influence is what you are. All of you.
For a little while, we had harmony. For the first time in my life, I had friends apart from Noctis and Father. It was strange to think of. I had ridden countless miles in the back of the regalia with Noct's friends, slinging insults and puns around me, and I never felt anything but apart from them. Even before, in Insomnia, whatever friends I had made in school I had promptly lost in favor of Father. But now I had a retinue of my own. I wished he could have seen me then. That year that we spent in relative peace was the brightest thing to come from 10 years of darkness. And it was the only thing that made me regret what came after.
That was so cute.
She just wants to be beautiful. She goes unnoticed. She knows no limits. She craves attention. She praises an image. She prays to be sculpted by the sculptor. Oh, she don't see the light that's shining deeper than the eyes can find it. Maybe we have made her blind, so she tries to cover up her pain and cut her woes away. 'Cause cover girls don't cry after their face is made. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to you're beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. And you don't change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. She has dreams to be an envy, so she's starving, you know. Cover girls eat nothing, she says. Beauty is pain and there's beauty in everything. Wants a little bit of hunger, I could go a little while longer. She fades away, she don't see her perfect, she don't understand she's worth it. Beauty goes deeper than the surface, oh, oh. So to all the girls that's hurting, let me be your mirror, help you see a little bit clearer. The light that shines within. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. Change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. No better you than the you that you are. No better you than the you that you are. No better life than the life we're living. No better life than the life we're living. No better time for your shine, you're a star. No better time for your shine, you're a star. Beautiful. Oh, you're beautiful. There's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. Change a thing, the world could change its heart. No scars to your beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful.
The four of us can handle the convoy without backup if you don't get in my way.
Then get out of the way yourself and I won't have to. Don't forget to phase.
I never forget to phase. I only choose not to.
What is this bruise from, then?
Ouch! A poor choice.
Jeez, Corey, you just have to
It
pump
wouldn't
your
hurt if you were
bruise.
faster.
Are you two going to do this the whole way? Because I'm starting to think falling off the caravan isn't such a bad idea.
He's harassing me. Aren't you supposed to protect me from that?
There are some things I just can't do anything about.
Or do not care to.
Neither fear came. Nose is itchy. Before Kor had both hands on the hilt of his katana again, she was behind him. The butterfin... I do not know how to pronounce that. Time for Google. She felt less like a child and more like a queen. Aw, that's so nice.
By now I knew it so well that the images played before my waking eyes someday. Fuck! Galad? 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 Did Julia say Galad?